cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you're from, life is coexisting, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you're from, life is coexisting, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. It's time again.
What up, y'all? You tuned in to the 52 Scott Podcast. This is Music Monday, and I'm your host, Slash. And with me, I got Comedian 96, K Money, Freddie G. Together, we are the Mind of Men. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast. On Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast. All right, welcome back to another Music Monday. Of course, we got another great topic for you. Wrap up the beef. Wrap the beef up. How long is the beef gonna go on? Now, we know hip hop been, one of the main sources where people would have beef. And of course, they would go at it on wax. Some of it didn't end too well. Some of it went to the streets. You got some real gangsters in the rap world. But it's been a lot of beef between male rappers, female artists, all of this. It's been a lot going on. And I just want to talk about some of the things, and some of the beef. Some of these people wrap they beef up. Some of the people still beefing. So we basically just, talking about, most of the beefs that people had. And it could be, from the 90s. I mean, because back in the day, Kool Moe Dee and LL used to beef on record. We used to listen to the beef. If you knew when Kool Moe Dee dropped the album, he had a song about LL. You knew when LL dropped something or a single, he had a song about Kool Moe Dee on there. It's just the way it went. So I don't know if y'all remember back when Nas and Jay-Z had beef back in the day.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, now they squashed their beef, which I feel like was wonderful because both of them dudes is pretty good. Nas is definitely straight with the rap blast and having his own style and creativity. And of course, Jay-Z stepped up to a level in music where a lot of cats probably never gonna get to. So both of those are basically kings of the music industry. And they had beef back in the day, but in 2005, Jay-Z invited Nas onto the stage to perform with him, which was officially ending the beef that they had. I think that was a good thing to do, especially if you beefing on wax. Now, what songs was it that Nas had about Jay-Z? Do y'all know? Ether, that was the name of the song, right?
Yeah, and Super Ugly for Jay-Z. But I think Jay-Z, he had maybe 2 songs out or whatever. But Nas' Ether, in my opinion, killed everything Jay-Z put out.
That's a classic to this day.
Yeah.
It's saying that the feud started when Nas was supposed to show up at a recording studio when Jay-Z was recording Reasonable Doubt.
Yeah.
And he failed to show up. So that's what started the beef.
So Jay-Z was in his feelings why Nas didn't show up to the studio. But I get that, though. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's something that you set up and you talk to this person, both of y'all business type people, y'all both, y'all know the game. If you talk to somebody, yeah, man, let's do it. If you don't confirm that you're not showing up to the session that we recently scheduled for us to do, and you don't show up, I'm trying to figure out what the problem is now. Because what I do know is, man, didn't we talk about this, bro? It's got to be better than that, man. The communication can solve a lot of problems, man. And the thing is, I think for Nas to be on a song with Jay-Z, Jay-Z's pretty much trying to give you your props, period, right there. You know what I'm saying? That's all that means. And if you couldn't make it, just say, hey, man, look, can I reschedule with you?
Simple phone call, huh?
Simple phone call, simple text. Man, something just happened. I ain't able to make it. Maybe I can get to you. So a lot of this beef that people have, and I can understand why Jay-Z probably squashed it. Yeah, all right, it's cool. You ain't have to be on my album because guess what? Who I am now. I did it without you.
Hold on, Slash. You said a simple text. Did we have text in the 96?
No,
not unless
but
you know what? But before that,
beeper. We
had
had
the beeper. You turn upside down.
Hey, but even with that,
304,
even with that, man, I would say that it's still, even if Nas didn't reach out, we don't know the whole gist of
Right.
it, but even if Nas didn't reach out and say, hey man, I can't make it or whatever, I think that it still should have been, they should have had some sort of conversation to be that. If I was Jay-Z and I was in my feelings and you were supposed to show up at a studio session and you didn't show up, you didn't call me, you didn't do nothing. Assuming that Nas didn't call or do nothing.
Right.
Because Nas could have very well said, hey man, I can't make it because.
Yeah.
And Jay-Z could have been like, didn't take his reason for not making it as being true.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that could have been like, well, I don't believe this nigga, he couldn't make it because he had a flat tire. He could have very well had a flat tire.
He could have had he could have had an accident on
yeah,
the way
yeah.
to the place.
So I think that it's all about having that conversation, man.
And that's true. But see, business is, you know, it's if you're going to not make it, it's like a job. You treat it like a job. You know, if you're working for a company, you can't just not go in and say, I'm not coming. You can't not say nothing. You have to say something. And I mean, that's the only adult thing to do with any situation. Just, you know, hey, it's something you can talk about. Don't get it to a situation where it's beef now. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Now, keep in mind, this was Jay's first album. So, you know, being his first project,
Right.
you know, you want that to be perfect.
Because he wanted Nas on there.
Right.
Nas was popping.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
but I mean, the tables do turn. And I think Jay-Z played a big role when he said, you know what, come on stage, man, and perform a song with me. We squashing this beef. I think that was live too, you know, because no matter what it was, Jay-Z looking at it like, well, you know, you wasn't on it. I still did pretty good. So maybe it was best that you wasn't on it. But once you come on up on stage, I can show you some love now. That was real on his behalf, no matter how the situation went beforehand, you know. So Drake and Meek Mill had beef. I in
never knew that.
2015.
yeah.
What was they beef about, man? Because Meek Mill accused Drake of having ghostwriters.
Yeah.
You know, on diss tracks. Well, we know Drake got ghostwriters.
You think Meek was hating because of all the love and attention
could
Drake
be,
was getting?
It could be that. That's what I would think.
I mean, because he's a nice rapper in his own right. So
Meek
why
is
would
good.
you shoot out or go after somebody, you know, that has all this success when you having success as well, other than wanting to get extra exposure, in my opinion.
And it could be because you know, some cats are territorial. If you've been in the game for a certain amount of time and you shine in it, you're not quite ready to dim that light when somebody else come in, you know, and they can come in out of nowhere. So a lot of people have this thing in mind where, hey, I know I'm what I am, and shit, I'm this, and fuck what he doing. I'm still shining.
I can understand why if you beefing with somebody and you going back and forth, you shouldn't get a ghostwriter. You supposed to be spitting from your own dome about, like, just for instance, if I'm beefing with you,
Right.
that's like me saying, Freddie G, man, go beat up Slash for me. Nah, I need to.
You have to do it yourself.
I need to do it myself,
Right.
so
I
I can
agree.
see
Right.
why he's probably like, man, come on, bro, you don't ghostwrite
And
when
I
you
feel
beefing.
that, and you're definitely correct.
Now, do we know if Drake has had ghostwriters writing his
I think Drake's had writers.
so it's been talked.
I've heard it before. I can't say where I heard it from.
I thought I heard it against the most recent one, and I could be wrong. Allegedly, golly, I can't think of the guy from California, Kendrick Lamar. So, allegedly.
Now you go to they beef.
No.
But no. Because they got beef. You might well go there because they beef is long lasting.
It's probably be one of the most famous beefs.
This is one of the most famous beefs
even though it's most recent. But
for this year.
Yeah.
For this
But
year.
it bled from last year.
Yep.
And it's still going on. It's an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And my only thing about that is when y'all gonna wrap up the beef? Wrap the beef up, Drake and Lamar.
But Drake dragging in music. He's suing people. Golly.
And he's trying to win in another form.
Right.
Because he can't win with this rap battle.
No, not at all.
So his only attempt to win is these stunts he pulling with, trying to sue these companies. And these big corporations he's suing, these not little bitty companies.
Mm-hmm.
He going after the big guys. So this is his way of saying, I'm hurt. You know what I'm saying? Because he know he'd have to go and get a bunch of ghostwriters to get on Kendrick Lamar. You can't handle Kendrick Lamar, and there is no ghostwriter that's gonna handle Kendrick Lamar out here. I don't believe so.
Do you mean I'm hurt or I'm losing?
Hurt and losing.
I think that rap beef can actually keep your pen sharp. However, when it gets bad, when it gets into the street,
And volatile.
Right.
because rap beef when we were coming up, the rap beef stayed on wax.
It was on wax.
You
And
just
that's what helped the record sell.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it actually helped the record sales, and it sharpens the other individual's pen.
That's true.
Because you may have a diss song here or there, but all of your rest of the songs you may be beefing this song against this other person's song. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Although it may not be a diss track itself, but hey, I gotta sharpen my pen because this dude over here getting off.
Right.
He doing what he doing. So and it stayed on wax. What makes it bad is when it turns it bleeds over into the streets.
Yeah, it gets violent.
And some of it has. Most of the younger generation, I think we talked about this, when it spill out into the street now, it's costing, your family members, whatever they go through because of a death, whatever money now got to be shelled out. So your personal or your in-home family, your wife, your kids, or whoever stays in your household with you, now they suffering because you're not there no more. So it's a lot of other stuff, and I think people got to start thinking about this, and it's okay to have a friendly rap battle.
Yeah.
That's fine. You can beef on wax. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But just remember the respect of it. When you see this person, it shouldn't go there in the street when you see this person in person.
You ever notice though, if you take a look, even the older, I'll even say mid-range generation versus the YNs, when this you got Drake and Kendrick, ain't no shooting, nobody got killed, a couple fights here and there, but that's it. And then you got 50 Cent and Irv Gotti, all them. None of that, nobody, no bloodshed. But if you go to the younger generation, the very young, the Chicago rappers, the what they call that, what do they call drill rap? Everybody dies. You notice that?
That's the YNs.
That's the YNs, right?
And see, they have a different mind frame. I saw, I think this was last year. I talked about this. I think the guy was from there. Well, he was doing this documentary on himself, I guess, and he was basically filming himself in the street. He had a guy filming him, cameraman, interviewing him or whatnot, and he was basically talking about his ops and saying the op name and at the op grave and then dug up the grave.
Yeah.
And turn around a couple of days later, the guy who dug up the grave, now they got to dig him one.
God.
You see, it's just too much beef, and now both parties, the family embarrassed because you didn't went and dug up the people's grave. What kind of mind frame? How did we raise you like this? To go, that's very disrespectful. And whatever happened to you should have happened to you because you don't go and dig up a dead man's grave.
It's totally disrespectful.
Leave the
man.
dead alone, man. They let them rest. They not bothering you.
They take it. The YNs take it to another level.
They take it to another level, and that's why it's important to wrap up the beef in a professional way. You can beef on wax.
Go back to how it used to be, just ranking.
Yeah. Call me a sucker MC. That's it. That's what we used to do back in the day.
Now I'll tell you, because you got a lot of people that don't have the strength to take the criticism. What I sometimes watch, I know y'all watch it, where the rappers, they just going at each other, talking bad about each other, right there, rap beef. That's
battle rapping.
Battle rap. That's where rap should be when you have beef. Don't take it to the street. Go on there.
Exactly.
Go on there and freestyle. Go on there and get in there with the big boys and learn how to take criticism, because it is what it is. That's real rap. Nobody coming out of there go and cut somebody up and shoot somebody up because of the rap battle. They lost a rap battle.
And they be talking big
And
shit.
they talk
Big
shit.
Well, you want to fight.
And for those
Right.
who just heard K Money say ranking, if you live in another state, that may be called joning for y'all, or it may be called
another word?
playing the dozens.
Playing the dozen.
Dozens, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they got all kind of different names.
And even I don't know if they were beefing, but our Houston's own from Ghetto Boys and Melly Mel, when they boxed, I don't know if they were beefing, but the furthest they did is boxed. That was
Well,
it.
Willie D is
Willie
a boxer.
Yeah,
But I don't know if that
I don't know
was
if they were
beef.
beefing or
Yeah,
not.
Because Willie D's a boxer.
Okay, well then, yeah. Okay, well, go to a boxing. Like some of them are trying to
Now,
box.
don't do that. Don't mix it. Don't
I
mix
agree
that.
with Slash. Go to battle rapping.
Go to
Just
battle
set
rap.
up a battle.
Don't box.
It's taking it outside of.
Well, you get to live after a boxing match.
No, but that
It's
defeats
just- that
the
makes it
violence.
physical.
part of
Yeah.
it.
And
That's true.
And
You
let me
got
show
a
you
point.
something. Some boxers can't hold their composures. Even professional boxers can't hold their composure
True,
at times.
true.
So that what turns out to be a friendly boxing match turned into
'Cause
anger
spill
while
out.
you're in there,
Yeah.
and embarrassment.
Yeah.
And so it could turn into
Or
something
a
else.
brutal beating.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he lost his mind and just went nuts.
You got a point. Okay,
And you know,
my bad.
motherfuckers
Okay.
nowadays have an entourage. You got to control motherfuckers in your
Because
entourage.
somebody gonna jump in.
Yeah.
Or not even that. Somebody gonna shoot nowadays.
Facts.
And that's where the beef does not need to go. Especially to the shooting. You know what I'm saying? We got too much black on black crime already.
As it is. Yep.
You know, and I think the reason why rap is important in our community is because it's something that a big community of people listen to, not just black people. But I mean, this type of music, if we smart, we've already brought the people together with the music, whether you know it or not. So I'm not gonna say we need to bring the people together. We already brought the people together. We need to keep the people on the right path now with the shit we got going.
So what happens when you have an artist that really don't make music like that anymore, but they're a mogul, and it seems as if there's always some sort of beef in the form of trolling, a la 50 Cent.
I think 50 is doing it money purposes. Because what I think 50 Cent knows, because ever since he's came out, 50's always been controversial, no matter what. His album was titled Get Rich or Die Trying. That's a very controversial name of an album. But he's always been that. And I think he knows that this is a way for him to stay
Relevant.
and stay relevant. Because whether it's positive news or negative news about somebody, it's news.
I don't know. I kind of disagree. Well, sort of. I mean, I agree partially, but from what I'm hearing, allegedly, the Gotti team, whatever happened over there, they actually tried to take him out or whatever. I don't think you would wrap up a beef with someone that tried to unalive you.
Okay.
Allegedly.
So I get that. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. Irv Gotti recently passed.
That's right.
And
50 has
50
some stuff
Cent
to
made
say.
a comment that wasn't very nice.
Right.
That didn't come off tasteful.
Right.
So what's the need in that? Like even when and again, I have no hand in none of this stuff, but I don't understand if there are no diss records being made from Murder Inc. Murder Inc. doesn't even exist anymore. If there are no diss records being made coming out of that camp, and there's no diss records coming out over here from G Unit Aftermath, where 50 was at one point, and I don't understand why continue to even speak on it. I don't get along with you. You don't get along with me.
Right.
There's no need to even troll, talk, or do nothing.
Yeah. That's just what 50 do, man.
Man, I'm sorry. I know it's
50 do it.
wrong, but
That's what he do.
You try to unalive me, man, I'm gonna be petty too.
But
and you don't succeed.
So prior to Irv,
Well, here's I'm sorry, Cameron. Here's the unalive part.
Yeah,
When you say unalive me, allegedly,
yes.
what are you speaking of? Like, are you talking about his shooting?
Yes.
Being
That
shot.
doesn't
happened
have
before.
anything. That doesn't have anything to do with Murder Inc.
Nope.
at all.
That was before.
At all.
Okay.
Zero. They're not even tied to that.
Well, I don't know.
So I don't.
Like I said, I don't know the history.
Here's allegedly how the actual beef started.
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly, there was a chain being snatched. Allegedly, there was a brawl in the studio where artists that didn't make it big on Murder Inc. pulled out a knife and started stabbing in the dark. And allegedly, 50 got stabbed, maybe in the arm or hand or something like that.
Yeah.
But allegedly, this is all around a chain. That doesn't have anything to do with being unalive.
Well, no.
so how long ago has anything been said prior to Irv passing?
Well, whenever
It's been
he
years.
passed, because that Irv had been out the game for a minute.
Right.
Elaborate what you mean by that, Cameron.
Well, I'm asking because the beef that whether it was currently still going on or not, nothing had been said in the media or on the news. No one had heard anything about this beef. So I think that was just a very low blow for 50 to say something after Irv's passing.
Yeah, and see,
Especially when it's been years since anything else had been said or previously been said.
right, and like I say, I think 50 just does it because he knows controversy keeps you in the public eye, no matter what it is, and I don't think he got the worst spirit. I just think he's got this thing in mind of where, look, I'm gonna get some money. I know how I'm gonna get it because I'm gonna keep talking about
By
this.
any means necessary,
You
basically.
know what I'm saying? And I can respect that on a business side. Now, would I personally do what 50 do? No, because I'm not that type. I'm not a troll. I'm not going to talk about what happened yesterday, because what that means is I can't get to the future because yesterday's past is holding me back. So, no, I'm not going to talk about that. But at the same time, 50 is doing it, I think, because he getting money. You know what I'm saying? 50 gonna be the next top paid rap artist, I believe, in the near future. But right now, Lil Meech, of course, you know the beef with 50 Cent and Big Meech is still happening. Well, Lil Meech is now saying something about 50's drug habit, allegedly. I don't know. Allegedly, there's some sort of a habit that Lil Meech wants to talk about that 50 has now, allegedly.
See.
And the thing about that is, and I'm gonna say, and let me just say this real quick, man. If that man has some sort of drug, that who cares? My thing is this: to Lil Meech, you talking about stuff. You need to leave this alone, little fella. I'm just gonna be for real, because only shot you had was because due to your dad, and because 50 Cent did that for your dad. Now you want to talk down on the dude that helped you. I think he need to pause, hold up, mind his business, and whatever this man do is his business. If he got a drug habit or not. What I know about most celebrities, they do what they want to do, and they ain't got to tell you it ain't your business. A lot of them do shit that you don't know that they do. So why you want to tell people now about the man having a drug habit? You wasn't talking about that when you was getting the money.
See, now I thought it was the other way around. I thought that it was 50 Cent allegedly saying that that Little Meech had to go to rehab because of his drug habit.
Is that what the case is?
That's what I thought it was. That's was my understanding of it.
Yeah.
Alleged drug habits, and so I just think that, man, all of this stuff is kind of petty, man. To be beefing behind.
Yeah,
some
no,
nonsense.
you definitely correct about that. That's something about a picture with Lil Meech being in a wheelchair. This is what this is starting from. I'm guessing 50 must have put out a picture a little bit. But see, 50 messy, man.
Now keep in mind of this too. Sometimes, and when something's big is about to happen with the show or getting back to the show, that if that could be a scene from one of the shows to where, because I do know that the upcoming episodes of that show, I think Meech is going to Mexico, and he gets shot.
And so
that could be a scene from that. So you just never know how that works.
Hey man, I'll tell you, whatever it is, this damn entertainment world, bro, is something else, man. Because you very well, those could be photos from that,
from the scene
and used
to tease.
It's all television, man. You know what I'm saying? Everything is acting, especially in stuff like this.
I'm sorry, just on 50 Cent one more thing. There's two things I do have an issue with. Now, if you're trying to tease and create noise around a particular individual to get sales and views or whatever, I get it. But if the other person is in on it, I get it. What you're doing, kind of like when he pretended to have beef with Kanye, and they dropped their albums at the same time, and they were on 106.
And it was just to sell records.
It was just to sell records. So I get it if y'all in cahoots together to do all that. My thing is this: if you beefing with a man because this man may be cool with another man, like a la Rick Ross and his daddy, and the man trying to put some money in his pocket. Just because you got beef with Rick Ross, you can't make me have beef with Rick Ross.
That's right.
And I also have an issue with his alleged beef with Game. Game was trying to be his own man. Just because you got a problem with some niggas from New York, Game, hey man, I've been cool with them dudes. I ain't never had no issues with them. And now you got a beef with Game because I'm gonna stand on my own 2 feet.
That's crazy though.
So I have an issue, and same thing with Fat Joe. Now they patched up their beef, but you were beefing with Fat Joe because Fat Joe and Ja Rule are boys. Right. They good. So when you get on the song, I'm from New York, got 100 guns, 100 clips, and now I'm from New York. You mad at me because I got on the song with them and we not even dissing you?
Yeah, that's
with
petty.
Them just my homeboy.
That's petty, man.
That's petty.
So, you know, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And see, that's why, again, I think it's okay to beef. I'm not saying you gonna not have problems with people, and it's okay to speak your mind. Freedom of speech. That's what America all about. And if you can find a creative way and form to do it, hey, rapping is fine. Rap battle is cool. But don't let it spill into the streets. You know, like I said earlier, it's already a lot of black on black crime. You YNs, y'all need to be the ones taking heed to the stuff that we saying, because a lot of y'all gonna be the ones to either lose or either win just from listening. You know, you're already in a bad situation because of where you are or where we are in the world today because of what's going on in it. You know, so you got to find a different type of way to navigate, and you can't let your emotions, you know, overstand the righteousness in what you know you should and shouldn't do. So know right from wrong. You know, if you beefing with somebody on the rap blast, keep it on records. You know what I'm saying? Wrap up the beef, y'all. Peace.
So that's all, y'all, for this edition of Music Monday. Thanks for tuning in. Come back tomorrow and check out True Tuesday with K Money. Hit that like button, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, The 52 Scott Podcast. Follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast.